Hello and once again, good evening, America! And welcome back to the NSDCA. And this week in the Dr. Pepper Dash series, we are taking it to Thompson Raceway Park for the Burnham Boilers 125. That's right, welcome back to the NSDCA, and we've got a barn burner on our hands. Tonight we have 30 laps around Thompson. So let's not waste any time getting to the starting lineup of this race here, and it's a stunning pole for the unsponsored returning number 30 team, not just any racing group, the racing group with Joey Michaels. An amazing, astonishing return to the series. Immediately they have grabbed the pole. We'll see what they can do in the race. As lining up alongside on the front row is the SPR 83 of Tommy Hurdson. Next in line, starting on the inside of row number 2, is the Hagen Enterprises Dodge number 64 of Hayden Mears. Going to start alongside Onge Auto's number 44 of Kyle Vaughters. Then, next in line, we see the number 23 Henson Racing with KT Larson, delivered to you by Burger King Pontiac of Riley Wilkin, who won the opener at Homestead. We'll have to see what he does today in this race. He's going to line up alongside the 68 of Glenn Mixon. Then, next row, we see the number 7 Toyota of Zachary Bilson going to start alongside this number 27 MJ Motorsports Chevrolet of Devin Fair. Next up on the inside of the next row is the number 12 of Thomas Cassidy for Gemini Racing, going to start alongside this number 16 Pontiac of Daniel Buchert out of Alex Parker Incorporated. Number 92 belongs to Robert O'Reilly, who is racing for Freeman Motorsports. This 92 Dodge is going to line up alongside the 99 Nelson Reeves, the Prisma Health number 99. Next in line, none other than the Shepherd Racing number 89 of Roberto Crown Jr. Good starting spot for that Pontiac. Is going to line up alongside the 66 of Kyle Basaglia for Maverick. Next in line, we see this number 94 of Kirsten Martinez, a CFRO Dodge. Going to line up alongside this Gemini number 10. That is Richard Herman. We're starting to get to the starting deep in the field drivers here as we're taking a look at this number 5 Dodge driven by Felix Jansen. Is going to line up alongside the 18 of Inca Commit. And looking for some great success today is the Aldi number 03 of Benedict Mirdo III, going to line up alongside the Brian Sieg Racing 39 of Jeff Bolton. Then we have Corbett's other car, the 9, driven by Ricky Freeman Jr., starting deep in the field. Had a really wild race last week. We'll see what he can do from deep in the field today. Going to line up alongside the 93 of Zayden Davidson. Colton Jacobs is the number 76 for Fans of America Racing. Going to start up alongside someone who is surprisingly deep in the field. Second in DPDS points last season, Alex Parker going to put the 61 pretty deep in the field. We'll see what he can do over the course of this one. Then we'll see in the next row, Rockstar Energy Racing's Tony Wallen going to line up alongside the 01 of Santiago Gutierrez. Then 85 is driven by Oliver Kingley for Columbus Autosports, going to start alongside another surprising deep in the field starter, KT Larson, another one of those Henson Racing with KT Larson, delivered to you by Burger King cars, starting really deep in the field. And another surprisingly deep in the field starting spot for the juggernaut Harman Betting Peterson Motorsports, going to be starting in second to last, 29th place, is DJ Reed, and a returning number 78 for Furniture Row Racing. That is none other than a brand new driver in Reggie Fogelman, but he's going to start the race in dead last. We'll have to see how he fights over the course of this event, as this race is just about ready to get underway. Why don't we send it down trackside for today's command to fire the engines.
Drivers, start your engines.
And an enthusiastic command today as the pace car, the red Pontiac Grand Prix pace car, paces us around Thompson Motorsports Park for what will be a 30-lap event around this track. It's sure to be a good one. With an interesting front row, Tommy Hurdson looking to rebound after failing to make the Homestead race, now lines up on the front row and might be able to turn that season around for SBR immediately as it began. But then there's Joey Michaels on the front row in an unsponsored number 30 for a team that hasn't even seen the track in several seasons. We'll have to see how everyone in this 30-car field does for this 30-lap race as the Burnham Boilers 125 is underway. And it's a very good launch for the 30, going to drive it into turn number 1 and maybe just about clear as Vaughters goes 3 wide in the first corner, trying to take third place away from Mears. He does it. So that puts Kyle Vaughters into the 3rd position as Joey Michaels will lead lap number 1. Vaughters continuing the attack, now going for 2nd place on Tommy Hurdston. Now Hayden Mears has the problem with Glenn Mixon on his outside, and it looks like maybe at the start of this race, as the game lags for absolutely no reason, at the start of this race, the outside line appears to be the line to take. Or Mears is just slow, as Riley Wilkin might try to get to his inside. Up front, Vaughters is trying to get to the inside of Hurdston. That is for the battle for 2nd. But this is the back half of the top 5 that we're watching right now, and they're still side by side just as they were at the beginning of the event. We'll follow all the way through the field to make sure that everyone's made it around this track just fine as this race is underway. We have a 3-wide situation right here. Alex Parker all the way on the outside. This is not what he wants to see. That is some dangerous flirting with disaster territory right there, as there's a contact in front of them already. The Shepherd Racing number 89 of Roberto Crown Jr. just about went off the track. Everyone saves it. They're 4 wide into turn 1. And there's more contact in front of them. These guys are racing as if it's the final lap of the race, but it's only lap 4 as this race is officially underway. There's a lot of contact on all sides of the racetrack. Some people getting really close to the wall. This is some dangerous stuff. There's some dirt. That's probably from the 89. As they're still 3 wide all the way through the corner, and around goes the 10. Huge contact. Oh, that's a lot of damage for a lot of cars in this field. Alex Parker involved. That is the exact reason why you want to have a good qualifying effort. The 93 has huge damage. They're still wrecking. Reggie Fogelman up the track in his first start. The 10 of Richard Herman completely destroyed, as we'll come around and see that Vaughters has taken that 2nd spot away from Tommy Hurdston, and that is how this race will begin. Pace car is out and the 61 is on pit road. That's dangerous stuff right there. Everyone else managed to stay on the track just fine, even though they have a ton of damage. We'll see what happens. The 9 of Ricky Freeman Jr. involved in that one. That was a big incident to start this race off on lap 6. The caution flag is out. We'll have to go back and take a look exactly what happened, but for now, Joey Michaels, the 30, up in front of Kyle Vaughters, Tommy Hurdston, Glenn Mixon in 4th, and Hayden Mears in 5th. And now we're taking a look at Richard Herman's incident. He was already loose heading into turn number 1, but that's when Kirsten Martinez came down the track, and the huge contact with the number 9 of Freeman, and everyone piled in. Then we'll take a look at this incident between the last place row starters. DJ Reed not impressed with the driving of the 78 in his first race in the NSDCA. But that's where most of the contact took place. Why don't we take a look on board with the 61 just to see what he saw coming around turn 2. And this is the opposite of what you want to see when you're starting deep in the field. He just had no time to react. Cars bouncing off the wall. No time to check up. Just a victim of circumstances is Alex Parker. What a shame for that team. After coming so close to the DPDS championship last season, with another rough race for the 61 team. And welcome back to Thompson Raceway Motorsports Park, and you can see that 83 dropping down the list. Another heartbreaker for the SBR team. Tommy Hurdston just blew an engine under the yellow and will be finishing this race in last place. That is a shame. Running in the 3rd spot, qualified 2nd, and is now going to drop to the tail end of the field as the only surviving... Well, actually, every car survived that wreck, but there are 2 that are a lap down. The 9 of Ricky Freeman Jr. and the 61 of Alex Parker are the ones a lap down. 93 has no hood. A lot of these cars just have basically No sheet metal left on the front end. We'll have to see if that makes an impact on the end of this race. There will still be 20 laps to go in this one now that we take the green flag. And we're back underway here at Thompson Raceway Motorsports Park. Vaughters wasting no time at all here as he's going to take a look off in turn number 2 for the lead on Joey Michaels. And that's where we're thinking that this move is going to be made, is off of turn 2. That's where everyone gets a run, and this is a run for sure. For the 44 Vaughters, a great move to the inside. It's still Michaels out in front. But Vaughters is underneath him. Everyone made it through the first lap just fine, but Vaughters is falling back now. Hayden Mears to the inside of the 44 for second. And that's what Joey Michaels wants to see, as the side-by-side battle for second means that the 30 is going to be in clean air and able to drive off. It was a great challenge by the 64, but Vaughters is going to hang on to the second spot for now. Now the 64 has to deal with Mixon to his outside, and take a look at that number 16 of Daniel Buchard. Started really deep in the field and has already made it all the way into the top 5, challenging for the 4th spot off of the 68 of Glenn Mixon. Also up in the mix is the 23 Riley Wilkin. Devin Fair in the 24 back here. The 12 is Thomas Cassidy. Zachary Bilson and the 66 of Kyle Bisaglia are the top 10 here as Mixon goes up the track. Looking through the field one more time here, there is a 3-wide situation going on at the back, but it looks like these guys can race 3 wide just fine. It's when they try to go 4 wide and get loose into turn 1 is when incidents take place on the track. Once again, Tommy Hurston blew up under caution, and that is the reason why the 83 is in the last place. This is a close, tight battle. Riley Wilkins is going to push it through the middle. 3 wide to try and take a spot in the top 5. Daniel Buchard falls back, backs out of that situation. Probably a prudent move, to say the least, as this battle continues. 30 is Joey Michaels. From the pole, has led every lap except for the one when Tommy Hurston went down pit road after blowing up. That was a lap led for the 83 car. But Joey Michaels has led every other lap thus far. Riley Wilkin has taken that spot away from the 68 of Glenn Mixon, it looks like, but Mixon's going to try and push it back to the inside of that 68 car one more time as we take a bit of a distant look. This is how close everyone is on the racetrack right now, and you can see that if this race were to go green to the end, lap traffic could make a difference in this one, but it's going to take a lot for them to catch the rear end of the field. Alex Parker, the slowest car on the racetrack at the moment, probably will not catch him as we are already closing in on the final 10 laps of this race. 13 to go this time, and I just saw the 10 of Hurston off the track again. That is how the first caution took place, was the 10 going off track and then sliding back up into everyone else. But right now, that's Hayden Mears going to the outside of Kyle Vaughters and takes the second spot away. There was some tire smoke there, but it looks like everyone's just fine. The pace car is not blinking, therefore we are still under green. What a run out of Joey Michaels, who's led every lap except for one thus far. Every lap under green for the 30 car, as Hayden Mears in the 64 has taken over second from pseudo teammate, alliance partner, the 44, Kyle Vaughters, Glenn Mixon 68, Riley Wilkin 23. Riley Wilkin looking to establish himself as a championship contender. Glenn Mixon just annihilates the wall off of turn 4. That's going to give Riley Wilkin another spot potentially here. After the win at Homestead for Wilkin, trying to establish BK Racing with KT Larson. Trying to establish Henson Racing with KT Larson, delivered to you by Burger King as a championship contending team. The 30 of Joey Michaels continuing to lead, 9 laps to go in this one. Hayden Mears is trying to close in, but really just maintaining this gap of about 4.5 tenths between first place and second place as we'll fall through the field quick. Wilkin continuing to work on Glenn Mixon. That is for the fourth actually position. As the rest of the top 10, what a run by Colton Jacobs, Fans of America Racing, number 76, driving it into the top 10 as these battles behind the leaders continue, still side by side through pretty much the entire 10th to 20th place positions. Rough race out of a couple of these drivers. Surprising to see Inca commit this far back, surprising to see Felix Jansen this far back. Oh, and there's contact between those two. They're frustrated with their running position at this moment in time, and they're racing hard. The 18 has right side damage, most likely from that incident that brought out our first and only caution thus far. But up front, it's still all Joey Michaels with the lead. And that time by Hayden Mears cut off a 10.5 on the leader, so with 6 laps to go, Mears is closing in. He's got Vaughters right behind him, who's got probably the best equipment in the field, apart from maybe the 64. The incident with Glenn Mixon off of turn 4 checked up the entire remainder of the top 10. It's created a 2-second gap between the leaders and the rest of the top 10. As we take a look here, Mears has closed the gap quick. Joey Michaels is trying to hang on for just the first career win. That would be incredible. With this team that didn't even exist a week ago, that didn't even exist before the Homestead race, now they're back and racing for a win in the Dr. Pepper Dash Series here at Thompson in the Burnham Boilers 125. But Mears is there. He's got 2 tenths behind the 30 car, and you can tell that is just they're riding on the line. Not a lot of in-car cameras in the NSDCA Dr. Pepper Dash Series. It's a bit of a grassroots series, grassroots division with not a lot of technology, but we do have a rear view camera on the 30 car this weekend, and you can see just how close Hayden Mears is to his first career win. This is what Joey Michaels has to defend for the next 3 laps around Thompson Motorsports Park. Raceway Motorsports Park. Whatever track this is for the Burnham Boilers 125, Joey Michaels is trying to close in on what would be his first career win. We're falling through the field right here. Take a look at this group of 30. Right now 29. Dr. Pepper Dash cars, as here comes the 64 of Mears into turn number 1, and this is for the win, coming to the white flag. Mears must have been saving his tires for this exact moment right here, but Michaels is defending great on the outside line. This is the white flag lap this time by Mears on the inside, Michaels on the outside. This is for the win in the Burnham Boilers 125. Vaughters watching on from the 3rd place. Mears tried everything that he could into turn number 3 on the last lap. Is it going to be enough for him to get there one more time? On the outside line, Joey Michaels is going to have enough to hang on for his first career win in the NSDCA. Joey Michaels will win for the racing group, and he will take the trophy in the Burnham Boilers 125, as just on the last lap, the Shepherd Racing 89 is sent hard into the inside wall. Roberto Crown Jr. sent for a ride on the final lap of this race. And that is how the Burnham Boilers 125 is going to come to a close. They're still rolling around the track just to make sure that the race is over before heading down pit road, but the checkered flag was out. Joey Michaels is the winner of this one. And you can see just where everyone else has finished here. Roberto Crown Jr. sent into the inside wall. He's going to actually finish this race in 16th. So not even a bad run. But coming home with a wrecked race car is the opposite of what he wanted to do in this one. Reggie Fogelman with a great first career start. Going to finish it off in 24th place. Not even that terrible. 2 cars finishing a lap down after being involved in the other caution flag. That was the only caution flag of the day, but not the only incident. Ricky Freeman Jr. in 28th, Alex Parker in 29th, and just heartbreak after heartbreak. Heartbreaks by the number. Taking a look back now at what exactly happened to Roberto Crown Jr., and he just got pushed 3 wide off of turn 4, and on the final lap, everyone's going to be going for it to the very end. Got turned by Felix Jensen, who also got into the 32 of Tony Wallen. That's just rough times. We don't have a camera on that number 89 car, but we do have a rear view camera on the car just ahead of this incident. We can watch that wreck take place from the rear view of Kyle Basalia, the 66. And this is just good hard racing on the final lap, but you hate to see a car torn up like that. Crown just gets pushed all the way up onto the corner. Jansen was there, and it results in a wreck number 89 for Shepherd Racing. But that's going to do it from us here in the NSDCA. Thank you all so much for joining us for this event at Thompson Raceway Motorsports Park. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.